Tiara here with Fae Creations. Thanks so much for tuning in to another soap making adventure. I think I finally have that introduction down of saying Fae Creations. It's taken a handful of videos, but I think it's coming naturally, a little bit more naturally to me. Alright, today's soap is inspired by like a little springtime scene that I have had stuck in my head with a sculpted layer and in the pot swirl and some embeds that are going to go on the front of the bar. So I'm going to get started by adding in my lye solution into my oils. Got my Tessa silk, my sodium lactate, my coconut milk powder, and my kaolin clay all in this mixture as well. I'm going to whisk it because, like I said, I am doing a sculpted layer and I want this to stay as fluid while the sculpted layer sets up. I don't want the rest of the batch to be, what is the word I'm looking for? Like trace, so that I can't use it for the design that I want when I get to it. So let's get this all mixed up. I'm going to pour a bit of this into a separate bowl for that first sculpted layer. So I want the bottom layer to represent grass. So I'm going to go ahead and put in some laurel green mica that is by Nurture Soap. I'm thinking of the fragrance as Nature's Garden. Of course, you always want to get them mixed up because they sound so alike. And give this a whirl, and then I'll tell you about the fragrance that's from Nature's Garden. So the fragrance I picked out is called Carnation, and this was one of the specials that Nature's Garden had of their fragrance of the month. They give you like a little discount, and they feature a fragrance every month. And I saw this one, and I'm not a big fan of florals, but I thought for spring, carnations just sound like it would do the job. And to me, this one smells like a florist. Like if you were walking to a florist, yeah, it smells very florally, like it's supposed to, and it has some green notes in there. If you took a carnation and you like had the cut stem and the fresh flower, this is the scent I'm getting from it. So to me, it's pretty spot on to what a carnation would smell like. It does say it accelerates a little bit. Most florals do that. That's another reason why to think about the steps of how you're going to prepare your soap. That's why I'm whisking and stirring in, working at room temperature. You know, I really try to avoid my soaps from accelerating. When I do read that it is something that they do, very rarely do I read that. Yeah, let's get our molds over here. We're going to pour out this first layer and let it set up, and then I have a cake comb somewhere, oh here it is, somewhere around here, that has the little jagged edges, and I'm going to use this one because it's it's like a fine tooth, and I think it's going to look more like grass. Let's get this poured in. So while I'm waiting for that to firm up, I've just split off the rest of my batter. I've got some blue slushy mica from Brambleberry. That's going to represent the sky. And then I have some titanium dioxide dispersed in water that I'm going to do an in the pot swirl for some clouds. And off to the side, I have some column. They're like the round circle column embeds that I'm going to put in the sky to represent the sun. So let's see if we can sculpt our layer of grass before we mix these guys up. Guess who is terrible at charging the battery pack to the camera? this girl. I blame myself, that's all I can do, is I take the camera inside at the end of the day and I totally forget to charge it until I come out to make soap and I'm ready to record. And I realize that the 2 minutes that I plug it in for is just not going to do it. Going on top of this soap that is already starting to set up, I have these little butterflies. I also have some flowers that have been piped that were just left over from previous soaps that I'm going to randomly stick on the top of the soap. And if that icing that I scraped off from the sculpted layer is still workable, I'm going to use that to pipe some leaves, but I'm not making any promises. Not holding my breath on that. So then these are like little random flowers that I'll squish into here. And that is the top of the soap. Now I have some embeds that I'm going to put on the front of it and maybe do some more piping. But I am keeping this decorated and not frosted with these embeds. So yeah, I am a little flustered. I can't believe I didn't charge the stupid camera. Anyway, the original design of this soap sort of originated from a soap that I did in May of last year. I did an Outlander soap and I had some extra batter left over and I just poured it into a mold and kind of came up with a design with what was laying around, and I didn't film it, but it was a really pretty soap. I'll post a picture of it. So this soap will be even more of a surprise for you guys since my camera died on me while I was pouring it. Lesson again, surely I have learned. Here's a lesson that I have not learned very well, is do not cut soaps that have melt and pour with a cutter that does not or is not meant to cut melt and pour. I've broken a wire recently doing that, so I'm going to very, very carefully go about doing this so slowly that we'll probably have to speed this up so that it isn't a half hour of me gingerly trying to cut this soap and not snap my wire. But this is what the inside of it looks like, and I am not done with it. There's another final embed that I want to put on the front, and I also want to pipe some flowers on it as well. So when I get done cutting all of this, I will bring you back. When I attach, I have these little brown bunnies that I'm going to put on the front, and then I'll pipe like maybe some pink flowers in the grass part, and that is going to be my spring soap. I'm not quite sure what to call it yet. So let's speed this part up. So I've got some orange frosting and a little star tip, and I'm just going to put on a few little orange flowers and use some of this batter also to attach my bunny. And I put those flowers on the wrong side. Whoopsie, I'll just wipe them off. I want the bunny to be on that side and the flowers to be under the sun. This. I like it. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, for sticking around while I have technical difficulties as well as, you know, errors I make on my part for cutting the soap with melt and pour in it. But I am super super happy with how these turned out. I think I'm gonna call them Spring Fling. If you haven't already and you are new, feel free to hit that subscribe button as well. Join me for more fun soap making adventures. And if you have any questions or comments, you can leave them for me in the comment section down below. And until next time, I hope you guys have a very nice day. And I will smell you later.